In this video, we will go over how to build the arm component of the hydraulic robot arm. Take out B1 and B2. B3, B4, and B5 will also be used in this part. If you look at B1 and B2, you'll notice the marks I made where the joints will be for B3, B4, and B5 to connect. Just make a nice line across these joints and then connect any of the three rectangles that you saw earlier. Make sure it's perpendicular. Then go ahead and connect the other two, just like the first one. Now we're going to take B2 and line up the joints we marked on that component with B3, B4, and B5 that we just connected to B1. So just put some hot glue on the spots marked as joints. And then set it on top of the B3, B4, and B5 components. Make sure you line up the edges of B1 and B2. They should be almost symmetrical. Now you're going to take B11, B12, and B13. Take B12 and B13 and sandwich B11 between the two. Make sure they don't cover up this slit. When the alignment is right, put some hot glue on and adhere it to the surface. A note on cutting the slit of B11. When you cut the slit, make sure the syringe plunger can fit. If it doesn't, just take a little bit of the material away until it fits snugly. Just like B12, we align B13 with B11, and when it's just right, we adhere it with hot glue. Now we're going to take our B1, B2, B3, B4, B5 component with the component we just made and line them up so that two of the edges align. I'm going to drive a nail through. And this might take some force since you're driving through 5 layers of corrugated plastic. Separately and drive a nail through. Once you have holes in the arms, bring back the arm component and this syringe holder, and you're going to drive a nail with a washer through the holes. Once you have the nail to your liking, put another washer on the other side to secure what you've made. The syringe holder and the arm should both be able to freely move about the nail. Next, we're going to take our base and attach the arm, so you'll need a syringe. Take the arm and syringe holder and connect it with a syringe plunger. try inserting the syringe to your syringe holder and then attach it to the plunger holder. Then take the arm and make it as parallel to the ground as possible while bringing the plunger back in as far as you can into the syringe. Take note of where the arm is and pick a point to insert your joint. I'll pick that point. I'm going to take the base on its side and take a nail and drive it through this point that I selected. It might be difficult, so you could put your hands behind the board, or you could put the board down on a table. There we go. Next, you'll want to drive a nail through the other side too, like so. Now you're going to take your arm again, and you're going to attach it to the base. But first, we need to figure out where the hole needs to go. Take note of the point. If you can't remember the exact point, you can line it up and mark it with a marker or a pen. Once a nail is driven through one of the sides, you can go ahead and drive the nail through both sides. Now that we have all of our holes made, we're going to insert the nails to create an axle for the arm to pivot on. This will be quite difficult. You have to insert the nail from the inside of the arm. When you have both nails driven through the arm, it should look like this. Both nail heads should be touching each other. Now we're going to insert the nails into the holes we made in the base. Now we'll attach washers to the nails so that we can secure our work. To keep the nails perfectly aligned, you may glue the heads of the nails together. Although it's not necessary, it may keep them better aligned. Now we're going to use B6, B7, B8, B9, and B10. These are all going to be used to hold the syringe that is on top of the arm. So first, start off, you can take either of the first three components. I took B8 and B7, and you sandwich the syringe between the two. Oh, it looks like I used B8 and B6. The three are interchangeable. Once you have your syringe holder aligned, put some hot glue on, and then you can adhere either B9 or B10 to the side. You can then do the same on the other side of the syringe holder. Now we're going to take our base and arm, and we're going to attach the component we just made to the rectangle that is furthest away from the joint that connects the arm and the base. Remember, we used B3, B4, and B5 to make these joints between B1 and B2. It'll be at the joint furthest away from the base. Once you've adhered the component we just made and made sure it's perpendicular, you can secure it with some more hot glue. Now you can go ahead and attach the last syringe holder. This will go at the joint on the arm that is the second furthest away from the joint that connects the arm and the base. Once it's connected, put your syringe in and see how it fits. Looks good. Now we're going to use B15 and B16 to make the second section of the arm. What you can see is I'm driving a nail through B15, about 3/4 of an inch from the edge. To figure out which side you should drive the nail on, look at the side with a smaller rectangle if you were to draw a line with that joint. Once you have that hole made, drive a nail through both of the rectangles. Make sure they are well aligned. Now we'll take B17, B15, and B16, and we'll adhere B17 to the joint marked on B15. Make sure it's perpendicular and lines up with the edges of B15. You can go ahead and reinforce it with some more hot glue once you're satisfied with how it connects. Now we'll adhere B16 to B17. Make sure you have it aligned correctly so that you can drive a nail through both holes at the same time on B15 and B16. Now we're going to take the second arm component that we have been making and adhere B18 and B19 to it. These are going to be adhered in precisely the middle of the second arm. Their edges should line up with B17. Just put a little bit of glue on the bottom edge and adhere it to the inner wall of the second arm. It should be in about the location that you see in this video. Add some more hot glue to reinforce the connection you just made. Once that one looks good, adhere the other one. Now we're going to drive a nail through B18 and B19. This will be used to help make a connection between the second arm and the first arm's syringe. Now we're going to lay down the base and arm and drive a nail through the end of the first arm. Now we're going to connect the first arm to the second arm. We're going to line up the holes that we made on both, and then we're going to drive a nail through. Start by beginning to drive the nail through the second arm, and then drive it through both sections of the first arm. The last piece you should have is B14. This is going to connect to a 20 milliliter syringe and be used towards the end of the third video.